Okay, and welcome and good morning to the last day of the Plone conference and the day of the PyCon Finland. And our first speaker of today is Alexander Loechel, and his presentation's title is eduTAP. Go ahead.
Thanks. Well, eduTAP is about digital credentials. And the problem you see is when you're talking with academics about digital credentials, it's the mislead. They think it's all the same. No, they are long-term credentials, like a diploma, or the short-term credentials, like a student ID. So this talk will focus on the short-term credentials, but also on all the stuff connected to wallets. And if we're talking about that, we're talking about digitalization. But the problem is, there are 3 stages of digitalization. It's digitizing something, so an image of it, an organization-centric optimization, and a user-centric optimization. And the long-term credentials, they're just digitized items. And the other thing is, we're talking about trust and assurance level. So, do we have something with no trust or with high trust? Makes a difference. And yeah, sometimes you do need trust that the solution can survive. Timo yesterday, the day before, talked about chasm the gap. Are you late follower to the topic or a new person to the topic? The thing is, if you're with the visionaries, it's hard that the people have trust that it really will succeed. Well, if even the global lead from Google says he has no trust that it will happen, maybe we can make that work. And also for universities, we won the Elite Award for Best Digitalization Project of the Year in Europe for our concept. So maybe there can be some trust. But yeah, it's all about eduTAP, modern campus IDs for universities in Europe and the world. And if we're speaking about the future, we should also look at the past. So we have just come from paper IDs 2019 to a student ID, and now switching to digital and going full future to verifiable credentials. So how or what are student IDs? If you're merging cards, it's all about the services, and you want to have a good user experience. But the thing you can see already, if you have to include services like payment, libraries, public transport, you will have to handle stakeholders. And handling stakeholders, especially with a large set of them, is a nightmare. You probably know. Well, if we're looking into the European point of view, there are already a solution. Something from Le Creu's, the French Student Affairs Union. Jean-Paul Rumagas has done a fantastic vision, but not a good technical specification. So they said there should be a European student card to add a European dimension to local student IDs and verify the student status everywhere in Europe or the world and give direct access to services. But it's just, in the first period, a hologram. Later, it became a logo and a QR code. But, sorry, taking such a card and taking a card reader, I can tap a QR code. Where's the sense of it? Where's the interoperability? So it's a great vision, but it lacks. And the thing is, if we're talking today in university life, we're talking about European University Alliances. We are one of them, and we have a vision. We want to create a seamless, inclusive European campus that enables mobility, joint learning opportunities, and shared infrastructure. Then it's all about identity and interoperability. And if we're looking just at LMU, our alliance has 9 partners. We have more than 250 partners. Getting a plastic card working everywhere, the most horrible nightmare, because this technology never scales. So what can we do? Well, we have a shared vision with the European Student Card: seamless mobility and easy service access. But not only for students, for everyone in the university environment. Those of you here have seen it on the first day. All the university guys putting up their laptops, room got connected, it works. For everyone else, Wi-Fi was a mess. We want the Roam experience everywhere. Really, everywhere. That's possible. The European Student Card, already stated 2020, give access to an unlimited number of services. Student status authentication and become available afterwards for all the stuff. And in the long run, they did understand that that means a dematerialization of cards itself using the smartphone. So that's what we are doing. But let's get a step back. We already worked with it 2019, looking at it. And we have cards. Our partner university also have cards. We look which services are connected to it. It's payment, it's library, it's for sport facilities access, it's the printers. But for universities, 4 completely different technologies, not compatible to each other. And that's one alliance. It should work with 65 alliance, 18,000 universities worldwide. Well, heck, what can we do? Well, there is the thing. So it is a great vision that we have with the European Student Card and what we want to achieve. But we need the people to understand the technology. And it's like within the Plone community. We get a small group of people that know the technology, that understands it. And if the official bodies don't come up with a specification, it's a grassroots approach. We need to solve the problem. And it's simple. If you take the step back and look, what are the services we want to access? It's identification, it's the cashless campus to pay, it's physical access control, it's the libraries, because they are important in universities. They are the manifestation of knowledge in the physical world. It's the transportation, because you need to go to the university. And it's all the discounts and promotions outside of the campus. But it's proximity use cases, on-site, in person. And it must be quick. So it's all about campus cards, not student IDs, campus cards. And they are official identity documents, and they are the primary medium for service access. Those are proximity use cases. And it's all about accessing services. Well, the canteen in a university, not only the students access it, the staff members too, the faculties, the guests, the affiliates, all need the services. But you are not allowed to issue a random guy from the street a student ID. You can't give them an official employer badge. So how do you make it? With plastic cards? No. In the end, it comes all down to one old thing. It's all about identification and authorization. Either things you know, things you are, or things you have. The quickest thing is something you have. And then it's all about the trust level, the assurance. In the end, we want something to work and trust in. And we have seen there are so many campus cards worldwide, but it does not work really to scale it across university. Are we intelligent? Maybe. Are we the top notch? Maybe not. But there's one thing in science we always can rely on. There was someone smarter than us before. And the easiest thing is to understand that you can never build a complex system from scratch. You need to start from a system that works. And Isaac Newton said it right. I have seen further, it's by standing on the shoulders of giants. And that's what we are doing. So if you have a problem that is really, really hard, because you have so many unknowns, you have so many requirements and stakeholders, you're in the chaos space. Those projects will always fail. You need to get them to a clear space. Because novel practice, we can try 1,000 times and will fail. Best practices, that's what we're doing every day. We can rely on it. It works. And if we're speaking about cards, identity documents, this is not the piece we need to talk about. It's this piece. Because this one solves your problem. It's the reader side. They are interoperable. And radio frequency communication is the key to it, not the QR codes. And it's all about user experience. Just tap to use a system. And if we're looking about universities, it's all about shared services. In Munich, we have 3 huge universities, 130,000 students, but they all go to the same canteens. They all use the same transport system. They all want to use the libraries. That must work. It's not limited to your university. So it's all about service access. And we have shared services and different service providers. Well, we have seen there are 6 dimensions or silos or verticals of services. That's hard to solve globally. But hey, shared services, local services, isn't it so that we have just the 4 pillars in the middle as local services? If you have a local problem, solve it locally. Only the identification part needs to be solved globally. So if we can have a separate service path, especially in a wallet, it's so much easier. You can choose the appropriate technology for your use case. You can move quick if you don't need to depend on someone else. So that's the transition we are talking about. And that's how our students' IDs and service passes look now. All NFC enabled in the native wallets of your smartphone. In Google, Apple, Samsung is coming next, and the European Digital Identity Wallet. And it must be easy. That's the way we are going to our user account of the university, tapping wallet passes, tagging the next pass we want, add to wallet, and you can use it. That's the student's ID. That's the European student card in the wallet. That's our library ID. And look how easy it should be to use. And you know, what's the most blocking element in Europe for getting it working? Apple. Getting the NFC entitlement from Apple is taking years. We were one of the first universities outside of the US getting the NFC entitlement at all. Those are our library canteen discount passes. Of course, we just need to prove that you're able to claim a discount there. So that's how easy payment should be today in a university with a student discount. 1 tap, 2 tap, paid. Go and eat. And that's the important part. It shouldn't take longer than 3 seconds to pay at the canteen, because they are waiting 100 students in line behind you. And they get angry if they're starving. So yeah, and opening a door. No one has to think about opening a door. It must work. It must just work. That's eduTAP. eduTAP is all about user experience. So learning from the best means solving problems. So coming from a physical wallet means understanding what you can do with it. So if we're thinking in old plastic cards, the best user experience is integrate everything in one card. On the smartphone, it's the opposite. This integrating the card makes it easier because you have one clear communication channel per service. The user can select which services they want to use. So it's much, much simpler to solve. And in complexity theory, or almost in all computer science, if a problem is too large, the simple solution is divide and conquer. We know that from sorting algorithms. Divide and conquer always works. Reduce the set of problems. So it's all about digitization. Do we need an image of a card in the smartphone? No. That does not make sense. You can't tap an image. There's nothing. Do we go for an app with maybe an image in there? That's an approach a lot of universities tried. But does that match with the vision of seamless mobility? Because you have to log or download an app of another university to access the services, get a user account there to use it? Is that simple? No. You need a simple approach, and that's user-centric optimization. And in the end, it all comes down to the 3 elements of those: digital identity, service orientation, and interoperability. Technically wise, for the users, for the consumers of the services, just one thing: the user experience behind it. So eduTAP is tap, educational tapping. Tap to identify yourself. Tap to verify your status. Tap to prove your entitlement. Tap to claim a discount. Tap to pay. Tap to land a book. Tap to open the door. It's no app. It's just tap. It's all about the focus on user experience and interoperability. And eduTAP are 2 things: the concept of splitting integrated campus cards into dedicated service passes and one harmonized identity pass, leveraging the full potential of digital wallets and use existing secure and proven contactless standards. We do not reinvent the wheel. The other part is eduTAP, the software that enables the universities, the higher education institutions, the service providers to create, issue, and manage credentials in the wallet, interact with it, and so on. So eduTAP is a different program, but it helps to fulfill the great vision of the European Student Card by enabling interoperability and a better user experience. And in the end, it's for all the people in the universities. Because if you don't care if it's a student, a staff member, or a faculty, we don't even need to discuss if it's a doctorate, a master, or a bachelor student anymore. Because then the service provider can decide if he is eligible for it. And we also know one thing: if our 65 theological professors can use the service, then our students definitely can. So it's all by a simple tap. It's all about user experience. But to do that, we need to understand how the wallet works. The wallet has a lot of features, but in the end it comes down to one essential thing. A wallet is a container for multiple passes, the credential. We have auto-presentment, and that's one of the best feature you can get. The reader selects the card in the smartphone. Not you have to search through the system. The reader selects the card. Battery reserve mode. You can even access the passes when your phone has powered down because you're out of battery. And it's all offline usable. It's all what we want. It's even better than our campus cards today. And that's how auto-presentment looks like. Just tap. Tap on another reader, you get another pass. Well, I was so stupid putting twice a blue card. Design is always the bad thing. The other thing is this thing called battery reserve mode. If your phone has powered down, but you need to access your car, you need to access your dorm room as a student, after a party like we had yesterday. If you forget to charge your phone, but you need to get into your room, you shouldn't be afraid. It's like we said yesterday with the mental health thing. If you have anxiety, it doesn't help you. If we give you a peace of mind so that you don't need to fear it, you can go much smoother through the world. That's what we want. It works. And in the end, it's a technology stack. We all know how stacks work as IT people. And there are different technologies. And you, as the consumer, as the customer of Google, Apple, and all the others, choose the appropriate technology that solves your problem. That's the key. And in the end, what we do as eduTAP is we provide you a simplified API that you can use it in any wallet out there that is relevant. And for the users, it's always the same. You go to the website, the app, or even through the wallet and select which of the passes you would like and download and add to your wallet. That's it. It must be simple and the same everywhere. So that's eduTAP. So to give you some more details about the technology behind it. That's our technology stack in total. For the Plone people, there is Plone technology involved, but there's also a bit more. So let's talk a bit more into the credential management system. It's a set of microservices because it needs to scale to infinity. Apple requirements. But in the end, it's a set of simple working elements. And the REST at backend at the end just gives you authentication to the front end and to the backend and speaks with Google, Apple, Samsung, or the digital identity, European digital identity wallet through the OpenID for verifiable credential issuing and so on. It needs to be a simple API because it's just CRUD. Create, read, update. There's no delete, deactivate. Well, it's CRUD. So, and it's all Python because if we want to solve a problem and maintain it, go for technology we know. Pydantic, HTTPX, fast API, containerized setups. That's all we do. And there's lots of reused concept from SOAP and Plone. Adapters, multi-adapters. Well, in the modern sense, so protocols and entry points. Configurable persistence layers. With things we know, and we know that it works. That can be reused everywhere. So in the end, we are building a stack. eduTAP is an open source thing. A real open source community formed after the model of the Plone Community. But it's a set of libraries and example implementations. It's not a platform. It does provide templates how a card should look like the European student card or how a library card could work. But it does not have a front end nor a pass designer. That's where commercial credential management platforms comes in, because small universities tend to take the buy. not the make, as the large university does. Uvascular has fantastic developers. They can use eduTAP straight up. They don't need to buy something. But the small university with 100 students, probably they will buy something. And that's what it is. Heidi is one of those examples. Those in the Plone community or Python community that were at certain events probably have heard of it. Heidi, Higher Education Institution Digital Identities. So yeah, eduTAP has some principles. No new standards. Reduce existing proven standards. Follow identity and access management principles of the EduGain authentication and authorization infrastructure. Follow GDPR principles, data minimalization, selective disclosure, zero knowledge proofs, security by design. And in the end, all credentials have a very short lifetime, a maximum of 7 days. But we update every credential every day through the back channel. All credentials have a registration and update webhook configured so that they really can get updated. And credentials will be not shareable by default. Security by design. And you probably know some of the people working on it. Aren't that the old fart from the ZOP and Plone community? Yeah. Because we know they can make it happen. So that's eduTAP. But let's give you a sneak peek of the future. So we have seen now how credentials and everything work. But Google and Apple has the idea of a student ID in America. But those are for one campus only. They are not can be used in another campus. They are not for mobility use cases. There are better ways of doing that. That's selective disclosure, credentials, and zero knowledge proof things. And we do need dedicated passes. So we're moving from the things we are now introducing to a future with verifiable credentials, selective disclosure, and zero knowledge proofs. Because in the end, that's this one credential that needs to work worldwide. And it's all about things you can do with it. So there's many things. It works on site, proximity, but also can be used online to verify your things. The technology behind is the mobile driving license standard. Something that in America, the TSA is already using for letting you on your airplane. So that's it. And it's a question of scale. It must work everywhere in the European Union, the Erasmus countries, or worldwide. And we are speaking about 200 million students worldwide. Isn't that awesome if they can use any services just like eduroam everywhere? That would make student mobility seamless. So we have one partner that works for it, and that's Giant with eduGain. And they have the National Research and Education Networks below them. So they have a slot for that. The trust and identity services. And eduTAP is a perfect fit into that section. So in the end, what we do is we log into one of our portals and download just another pass. That's shibboleth. And what should be a global verifiable student ID be other than just the important eduGain attributes in a pass? Nothing. And everyone is moving into that direction. The specification for the European student card as verifiable credential, DC4EU, the non-fundamental IDs in education, those are all verifiable credentials. Well, there are 3 standards for verifiable credential, but the issuing system is the same, and what the smartphone can work with it is also the same. So we choose the ISO norm because they have a bit more features in the smartphone and a few simple things. but it's security by design. A lot of possibilities. And the data set, everybody from university identity management, if they look at the slide, says, oh, yeah, I do know those attributes. That's what we need. Nothing more, nothing fancy, just that. So that's how verifiable credential in the wallet looks like if you tap. The one is with informed consent or informed consent plus pre-consent, because we said if you want to pay in the Mensa, it shouldn't take more than 3 seconds. So only on the first tap, you need to check the box that you trust this verifier to let it work directly on the next tap without reproving your consent. That's it. That's campus cards from a point of view of modern technology. It needs just to work. Service access must be a commodity. And what we learned from the Plone community, it's all about the user experience that matters. It should be boring. Who of you has been in Boston at the conference? One of the keynote claimed this, or remind us of this thing. Each company gets about 3 innovation tokens. But the students have those innovation tokens for their master thesis, for their bachelor thesis, for their party life. They should focus on that things, not how to pay. They don't need to use a lot of power to get access to the library. It should be a boring technology. It must be boring. It must just work. That's the important key. So that's eduTAP. I would like normally to try it out for you. Our computing center has went down by an electric outage yesterday, so it's down at the moment. But probably if you're looking the recording, it's up again, so try it out. And eduTAP, no app, just tap. It's all about the user experience. So I say thank you. And if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to me. Any questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you estimate the volume of the garbage you're saving, of the plastic garbage that you're saving with this stuff?
We tried once, but there are no good numbers out there to know how many plastic cards are actually issued by the universities. We normally estimate that one of those plastic cards has a lifetime of 3 to 6 years. So a normal bachelor master students with 5 to 6 years probably need 2 cards during the lifetime. But these are 5 grams of plastic. There are some bio materials also out there, but 5 grams of plastic multiply 200 million students. That's a lot. It would be awesome to save it. But also be real, the energy of the smartphone or the smartphone isn't cheap either.
Yeah, but you have it anyway.
Yeah.
That's,
It's bring your own device.
How about are you in a kind of whims of the Apple and the Google, what they're doing with their phones? How much they can kind of affect for this future if they want to start to act badly or anything?
Google working together with us, the communication with Google is awesome. Apple has a fantastic technology. The communication is not that easy. But if you get Apple working, it's one of the smoothest experience. But yes, Apple is laying enough blockers in our way. So it's a very difficult path to follow. And yes, there are a lot of eventualities. But the thing is, in a plastic card, the oldest technology hinders you to move forward. If you have separate cards for every servers. You can move each of the services by its own, so it's not that much blocking anymore.
And is there connection to the European Identity Wallet
Yes.
and this technology? Yeah.
It is. Because in the end, the standards for the verifiable credentials are following the architecture reference framework of the European Digital Identity Wallets. So it's exactly that.
Cool.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Let's give an applause to Alexander.